How's it going, everybody? Today I'm reviewing The Flash Season 2, Episode 21, The Runaway Dinosaur. Spoilers for the episode. If you've not seen it, go watch the episode, then come back here. This episode was one of the more highly anticipated ones because Kevin Smith was directing it. And I didn't. A lot of times in TV, the director doesn't necessarily play a big part into it because they're kind of following a formula. It changes, I guess, for action and stuff like that, but for the most part, they're trying to continue the same look. And it's a lot of the same stuff. It's mainly the writers in TV that mainly get the forefront as opposed to like movies. But in this one, I think Kevin Smith did a great job, great job, especially conveying the emotional moments of the episode. And there were a lot of them. And I'll start with Barry's storyline. We don't know where Barry is, and he wakes up and he's in his house. It looks like on the night of his mom's murder, and he sees Joe. But except it's actually not Joe. It is in fact the Speed Force, which is really weird. I was a little like lost for a second. I was like, he's talking to Speed Force, and Barry kind of ranks up. It's like, so I'm talking to like gravity basically, in a sense. And it was just he was confused to begin with. But it's basically they gave Barry the Speed Force chose Barry. The Speed Force chose Barry, and they felt like he gave it away. He didn't do what was right or whatever, and didn't feel like it was necessarily the right move. They kind of touch on it a little bit with the whole, he's like, I had to save it, and he's like, that's not the issue. And it basically came down to Barry trying to accept the fact that his mom's dead, and he never really dealt with that. So it was a great way of exploring that aspect of Barry Allen. Obviously, Barry can make that choice. He could either leave right away and go home when Cisco's trying to save him, or he could try to catch this blur, this thing that he needs to catch. And if he catches it, he will have a speed when he goes back, but if he doesn't, he's not going to have a speed. So it's one of those things like, I need my speed in order to come back because Zoom's destroying everything. Barry's even getting really frustrated because of it, because he wants to save his friends that are back there dealing with Zoom and the chaos that he brings. So I loved seeing Barry kind of have to deal with that, as well as running into various members. I love how each actor kind of played it the same. Very straightforward, because they're not playing their character, they're playing the Speed Force. So Iris, Candice Patton did a great job playing that part. Guy who plays Barry's father, he did a great job. I can't recall his name. And we got to see at the very end Barry's mom. Before we get there, we had the Nate scene though, him at the grave where he felt a little emotional. He's like, I've never been here before. I haven't even visited my mom's grave. So I like seeing that. And when he does see his mom, it's a great, probably the best scene in the episode. A very emotional scene between Barry and his mom. And he asks, like, well, who's telling me that you're proud of me and everything like that, and happy you did this? It's both the Speed Force and your mom. So he's kind of communicating to her in that way. I mean, it's not directly with her, because it's kind of not her, but it's the closest Barry's going to get to have that conversation. So he finally gets his suit, and then goes and gets saved. But meanwhile, on Earth 1, there was a lot of stuff going on. So we find Jesse and Wally. They're knocked unconscious. We don't really know what's going on. She ends up being in a coma. Wally seems okay. And Joe, later on in the episode's like, just watch this. And he drops the cup, and it didn't. He's like, why'd you drop that? Because it doesn't seem like Wally has the powers. I think he does. It just needs to like unlock them or something like that. Or maybe he's not worthy of the Speed Force at this moment. So that's why he hasn't got them. Because we see the Speed Force kind of chooses. Unless I'm not interpreting that correctly, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, because I'm not 100% on that. But he doesn't have them, and there's great humorous lines peppered throughout this episode where Iris is like, I got you that mug. And like there is a couple good little one-liners from Cisco throughout, especially when they go down into the morgue. And we see Girder's back, and there's lots of good interaction. I love Candice Patton in this episode. She's also one of my favorite parts of it, especially when she goes. She's such a strong character when she goes out into the street. She's kind of scared, but at the same time not. Leading Girder back to Star Labs. The Force plan doesn't go as it's supposed to. And Barry needs to come in and actually save the day. And he does a great job when he does come back, spinning him around and all that. As we see, Jesse indeed wakes up at the end. They figure that all out. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this episode. But I like how it kind of focused on Barry and the stuff going on in the lab. It didn't jump around too many places. Like we kind of left Zoom out of it. And it feels weird, like the third from last episode. You're not really focusing on Zoom except for the very end, which I'll get to. but it worked. It worked in this episode, and I really enjoyed it throughout. Also, some other little cool moments in there. I got to see Jason Mewes, who's Kevin Smith's buddy and everything, had a little small role. It kind of felt almost out of place. Like, it was just, he was there just because. I don't think he necessarily needed to have that scene, but it was just a cool nod. And also, I loved the "Run, Barry, run" line from Barry's mom to Barry at the end. That was great. Then we get to the very end when Zoom and Caitlin are talking, and they kind of have that conversation. Then he goes out of the room, and he starts commanding, and what I thought was just talking to all the police officers. I thought he was just talking to all the police officers, kind of laying down the law and everything, and then it turns around, and it's a whole bunch of metahumans all on his side. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I felt the threat. I actually feel the threat that Zoom has, and that's great going into these last two episodes. I love it. It's going to be a sprint to the finish for these last two, and I'm so excited for it. Hopefully Kevin Smith can come back for some episodes next season, because he did a great job with this one. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on the episode in the comment section below. Again, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos each and every week. That is it, and I'll talk to y'all later.